This conference will now be recorded.
Is everyone joined? Okay, so yesterday I sent projects, uh, Java project and the automation project, Selenium WebDriver to everyone, right? So would actually take a look at those. And apart from that, yeah, so this you can actually unzip it and import it in your Eclipse. So these are zip files. One is Java, one is Selenium tutorial. This is in progress and this is already done, so you can practice. I included more examples. And one is REST API. So we haven't started yet. That we will see after Selenium. So this is easy. So how do you do that? You easily, once you unzip in your local folder somewhere here like this. These are the zip files. You would unzip it like this. So when you unzip, you will get source file, bin folder, source folder, and class path project. In the source folder, we have created the packages and code. All the code will appear here, correct? So these are the Java files. So you will see all this. So once you do that, what you do is you go here and import import existing projects into Workspace. So all you have to do is you have to put this in the existing workspace, whichever workspace you are working on. For example, if you are working on this is your workspace and then select this and browse that, and automatically it will come. Then you go for it. So then you finish. So you can do that. Also, I have put the projects in the GitHub yesterday, and here it is. Automation projects is the one which has all of them: Java tutorial, Selenium tutorial, and REST tutorial. So you can basically clone or download. Okay, if you have GitHub version, desktop version, you can do that, or download as a zip. So all of them will be zip, and you can unzip and put them in your workspace. That is when we are. You can clone using the git clone command. So you can do that. Or if you're not comfortable with the command prompt, you can either use git bash. Okay, so you can download this. So git bash will give you git status. If you are in the actual you have to cd to the change directory to the actual location where your workspace is. Or you can use the desktop version too. This is the desktop version. So whichever is comfortable, you can go for it. Okay, this is a desktop version. So you can download these from here. So I just maintain the download sites. Git download site is this one, git.sam.com. You can download from here. Okay, git bash come from here. Or you can go for git desktop version from here. So sure you feel comfortable. Okay. So once you do that, you will be able to run the commands. I just provided the commands here. Some commands, normal commands: git add, git commit, git push, git pull, git status. So initially you have to do this git config, and you can create your own public keys, private keys. All the information is available in here. How do you create your SSH key and everything? Oh, sorry. So the information is in here, so I'm just putting. And information for pulling your for pushing for your first project is in here. These are the important information. Anyway, I have maintained another site for this Selenium tutorial, which is ongoing. So basically, this is what we can use. Selenium tutorial. Yesterday I put it, well, the latest one. So this is the one you can fork it. So once you create your own sign up for the GitHub account, so that I will ping you, or I'll send you the notes. So you can pretty much fork it. Yeah. Okay, guys. I just need to take a 5 minutes uh, pause break. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. I had to call someone. Okay. So until then, you just check this. Okay. Go here and check this and create your account in GitHub. So how do you create? So just go here and go to GitHub, github.com, and try to create your account. So until then, I'll be back. All right. Is everybody okay? So create your account here, github.com. Okay. So I'll be back now. 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, everybody is going to create account. Meanwhile, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, don't worry. I'm just muting. Okay guys, I'm back. So did everyone create the account or still in progress? You just have to go here and create your account. Okay. So you want to do it later or you want to complete it if you're doing it already? Say yes or no, otherwise how do I know?
Um, I
Hmm?
did have create one.
Okay.
It's
So can you tell me if you have gone to this and
Hello.
put, yeah.
yes,
Without
yes.
create account, we'll download or no?
Okay, so all you have to fork is this one. So the one I highlighted, it will read as https github.com/sangamautomation/selenium tutorial.git. Okay, so you will see that and you can fork it. So there will be option fork. So then you'll be able to add it to your Eclipse. Okay, so in the Eclipse, what you have to do is you have to link it with GitHub. So that's what I linked with here. So if I make any updates, like for example, if I make any updates here, okay, so then see automatically it changes. So then I'll be able to commit it. So you right click it, go to team, then this is all Git. Okay, so then you commit. Okay, so then you have to, every time you commit, you have to leave the commit message. So I just made a added setup comment. Okay, so then you have to commit and push every time. Okay, so then close. This is the one it is going. So if I go to, if we, right now the update shows us 10 hours ago. If I refresh it, it will show updated 14 seconds ago. Just now I added setup comment. So this will be updated every time so that you can take it. So then if you can take it, we can share the project like this. And you can also maintain your own project by forking it. Like if I give any homework, you can update yours and I'll be able to look at it. So that's the process we are going to follow, apart from sharing the code via email too. Okay, so let's go back to our automation project. Yesterday we have finished till some point. We'll continue from there. So yesterday, one student has sent me the XPaths for select finder, which is good. So I'm gonna copy. Who is that one? Can you?
Yeah, was doing it. The select finder one.
What is your name? I mean, I just want to.
Sabina, Sabina.
Sabina. Okay, good job, Sabina. Yeah, this is.
Mm.
I'm going to take it as it is. So that's what I wanted everyone to do, but nobody did except for Sabina. So this will go to page objects. Basically, Sabina has uh, prepared the XPaths for the select finder. So let's see select finder. So that will be after registration. Once we run the automation, we will be able to see. So somewhere here. So select finder. Okay, these are all round trip one-way radio buttons are there, right? So yesterday we were doing the same. So flight finder, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
are exactly same position, so I can paste it here, but I'll do some modifications though. So let's do the what modifications are required. I'll tell you. So at least you have done something, so that's a good job. Okay, so you declared every variable as private string. The problem with the private string is if you declare any variable private string, you cannot access these variables outside the class. So I should be able to access these variables in these, right? The outside, same project, but outside the class. So that what I have to do instead of private string, what I have to declare them as?
Public static
Public.
final.
Correct. Public static final string. So I explained you why public, why static, why final, why string yesterday. So everybody remembers? Can anybody tell the reason while I'm doing this, replacing this? Anyone? Quickly.
Public is we can access it from any class. any other class. And
Correct.
static is for like we can access without creating the instance of the class. And final is for we can this is final. We are not making any change of this variable.
Right.
And string is the data type.
Yes, that's it. Correct. So that's all you have to say. I mean, reason. I mean, if you know, why you're doing what you're doing, so then it will be easier for explaining, even in your project, your lead asks, or even in the interview, the interviewer asks, to be able to explain. Okay, so what else we need to modify here? Anybody can identify in the Sabina's code? Just look at it and look at the above two variables that I created and look at the below. What's the difference? What need to be modified?
After the word
So correct. So she did not mention the type of object because that would be easier for when I'm calling. So remember, I won't type month. I will type radio button or something. Then I'll be able to filter them out. So the all idea is to see the less results in the options. If more results are there, I'll have to choose. Less results are displayed in the pop down. Then I'll be able to choose them easily. So first I'll filter them out by the type of object I am operating upon because that's first thing that comes into my mind. So the type is radio button, I think. Yeah. So I'll just add radio button underscore. That is the naming convention we are following. And you can pretty much put this as uppercase. So what type instead of type? Okay, that is a type, but flight type. So I just renamed properly. So that's all. Okay. Now we will come back to this one. So the reason I went for complex is to make it make it one match. Okay, so flight type has two radio buttons, one way and round trip. So the one I created for is one way. So flight type I can go for one way. Okay, so here you can use more underscores, but I don't recommend it. Underscore one way. But the reason why I use underscore here is just to differentiate between the type of object and the name of the object. That's it. So you can also avoid this underscore. Some projects do not use underscore, so we can go accordingly. So just for the beginners learning purposes, I use underscore just to see it clearly. Okay, so this is the round trip. So both are needed. Okay, then one way is it? Oh, one way you already defined. Okay, already I defined above. So let's see. Actually, let's see this. If it is resulting in one, did you check if it is resulting in one and only one match? I guess you.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so basically trip type is not required because both one way and round trip has trip type. So she just went for one way. So which will definitely result in one match. So that's a good job. So since I have already done, this is just to show you how to write a complex query, complex XPath. So I showed you, but these two are similar. So since two-way type 2, okay, type 2, huh? Okay, naming is not proper. Since I have already done for the one way, so I am deleting this. So let's use that one. And passengers is what kind of object? Let's just mention it here.
I
What
think
kind
it's
of object?
text box.
Text box. Okay, so text box, we'll mention text box underscore, and passengers will be P capital because only the first letter is small letter. And depart from is it a radio button? We can take a look while doing it. So that's a good idea because instead of imagining, let's take a look. So the only way is to go to that page, correct? So to go to that page, I have to debug the test case. So I'll just debug the test case from there. So it will exactly go to registration and stop there. So signing in, still we are working on it. So okay, what is the error? Let's see. Flights. flights. Okay, sign in is okay. Basically, we have to call the flights, but I changed the name, so that's why there is error. So just hover over it. See, something is missing. So I'll control space. Coming. Okay, so which one is I want to go for? The round trip is already selected by default. So just to make another selection, I'll go for the one way. Okay. Next time we can change, edit the booking flight booking details that we can change. We can play with that later. Okay. So I'll just run till this point. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we are till here. I didn't close the driver, so it is still intact. So afterwards, since we are already signed in, sign off button is enabled, so that means it is signed in, and sign in is not working for this application. So let's not go with the sign in because it's breaking. So let's go with the flights. So we clicked on flights. Let's say that part is automated already, right? In the flights flows. So we clicked on the link flights and then waited for max 5 seconds. So the page flight finder is displayed. So this is it. I'll just write comments. Flights. Okay, clearly click on flights link. Okay, so this will be clear. So what I am doing for that one particular and the waiting, and then comes the flight finder. So because it's everything is under the flights class, so I just have to bifurcate each section. Flight finder. Okay, so in flight finder I'm trying to select the one way. Okay, now we will be able to see this passengers is drop down, correct? So flight finder, we will go there. Passengers, it's not a text box, so it's a drop down, so we have to name it accordingly. That's what I was suspecting, because without seeing we cannot determine, right? Drop down passenger. It's easier if you name it exactly as it is named in the application, because if we deviate from it, it will be difficult. Again, I would think in the real while it's being reviewed, or it's being looked at later point of time, then I'll be thinking, oh, this is a different object or something. So just avoid the confusion. I had to match the applications. Okay, depart from is a drop down too. And on month and on date. Okay, because this is going in the same year, they have mentioned the year. On month, so what should we rename this as? Drop down underscore on month, and drop down underscore on day, and arriving in. Okay, so this is a drop down to drop down underscore arriving in. That's a city's name or the airport's name, and returning month. So that's a drop down to returning day, drop down to and preferences. I'll just make a comment here, so easier. So the above ones are for the flight details. Okay, so flight details actually comes after this. I put it here. Okay, so the above one is actually flight link. Flight link in. When did I click? We can click the right now also, but I clicked in the after registration. Flight link after successful registration. So I can. Okay, now preferences. Service class is the radio group. So radio group has 3 radio buttons: economic class, business class, and first class. So let's see, class 1, class 2, class 3. That's what you renamed. Okay, but we can go with the exact match. So because class 1, when I'm calling at the time of coding, it's very confusing for me. What is a class 1? Because I won't be taking a look at this one. I'll be taking a look at the name itself. So economic class has economic class. So service class basically. And what is the type of this? Object radio button underscore service class what kind of service class it is? Economic class. Economy class. So it doesn't matter even if the name is lengthy, just go for it. And I'll repeat the same thing for others. Okay, so all these are business and first classes. And the reason I am emphasizing on the naming convention is in the real-time project also you have to do the same. I mean, this is as important as the functionality, coding functionality. The naming is as important. So you have to pay attention. Both. Airline is a drop down. Airline is no prefer. Okay, by default we'll check something. Airline and continue button. Okay, so instead of continue button, you could say button underscore continue. I mean, type is before, and that's how we decided upon. I mean, it's not a constant one. It's neither right or nor wrong. So you can go with the project's naming convention, but that's what I have decided. So let's go. Okay, so she did all these except for naming convention. Did a good job. So I am not going to validate this one right now. XPath validation will be done on the debugging level itself. So let's code this one by one in the flights section. All right. Okay, so flight finder, we clicked on it. Flight, this one way is clicked upon. Then passengers. So radio drop downs. I told you the special way of dealing with them, right? What is it? Select. Anybody remembers from previous class? We have operated upon is drop down in a different manner than the others like text boxes, hyperlinks, and radio buttons. So I want to go for 2 passengers. Let's say I have to select 2. So how would I? Is it a driver.find element or something else? So I told you, right? Select. First you have to instantiate select. Cell equal to new select. Yes. Now this takes a web element. Okay. So now I'll come here. Now I have to first create a web element. Driver dot find element by dot XPath. And what is the XPath? Flight finder. It's coming from flight finder automatically. Dot and what kind of object it is? Drop down. So that is the reason why I ask you to name it accordingly. Drop down. And what is the drop down? I'm going for passengers. Remember? So this is easier for me right now. Okay. Now this would return me what? Web element. Correct. Yeah. So this is what I have done yesterday. Web element w equals to this one. Yeah. Now, okay, I don't want to go with that approach yet. Now select requires, select is the, I'm instantiating by accessing the constructor. This is a constructor. Now this takes one parameter. Okay, after importing, I'll show you. Okay, one argument is required. It says add argument to web element. Okay, so it is expecting, see, add argument, one quick fix available. Select constructor needs a web element. What web element? The web element of that particular drop down. So basically it's expecting. So I want to enter WE here, right? That's it. Now it is resolved. Now I want to do in one line now. Okay, instead of declaring this web element and assigning this value, I will directly go with here. Okay, I'll directly pass it here. Okay, so that I can avoid this line. Okay, any confusion? You let me know right now. Any confusion so far? Okay, this is not a string, so web element, do not put any quotes. Yeah, so now that's perfect. Now instead of 3 lines, I am going for 3 lines. Cell dot, what is the method I have to go for? In the drop down, I have to select a value. So select by visible text. Right? And what is the visible text? 2, which is a string 2, not an integer 2. So instead of 3 lines, I went for 2 lines. So select cell is equal to new select, which takes the whole web element, this whole web element, except for this operation, this left side is passed. So based on this web element we passed, it identifies, locates the web element of type dropdown. Then using that select instance, I'll be able to go inside and choose one of these drop-down values. So that's what I did here. So yesterday, what we have done, let's see. What was that? Registration. Where did we encounter the, sorry, register? Yeah. So this is the 3-line step. I made it as 2 lines. So first we determine the web element, then we pass the web element to select, then using this select we selected the appropriate value of the drop down. So using the select by visible text, there are many, select by index, select by value, blah blah blah. Okay, so back to now, going forward I'll even go for 1 line, so I'm just decreasing gradually. Okay, so in the same class we can do that 1 line thing, and going forward further down the line we will put this function select by visible text in the infrastructure, so that we don't have to do this at all. We'll just call this infrastructure function, but this is practice purposes. I have to tell you this, guys, because this is what is being asked in the interviews. How do you select a value from drop down? So you have to say select, I'll instantiate the select class first, then pass the web element using the driver.findElement by XPath to the select constructor. Then using that select instance, I'll using select by visible text method, I'll choose the value. So this is all you have to say. Okay. All right. Now, what else? Drop down, departing from, we have to select. So I want to go for departing from, where is New York? Yeah, New York. So departing from New York, how I want to select. So what should I do? Anyone? Same thing. It's a drop down, right? So can anyone tell me? I'll just write it faster. Same line. I will ask each and everyone. Yes, respond quickly. The quicker the better.
Driver find element.
Yes, select. I have to go for select, but this select is already used. So I'll use cell 1. Okay. Or let's say this is cell 1. Cell 1. This is cell 2.
Is equal
Equals
to
new
new select.
And inside I have
Select
to pass IO dot find element by dot XPath. Okay. And XPath expression will
flight
be flight finder, correct?
finder dot
Finder
drop
and
down
it's drop down. Yeah. And what's drop down mean?
underscore Depart. That should be departure. It's what is it?
Departing from.
Departing from.
Right? I should choose the departing. That's it. Okay. Then what else?
There's cell 2. Select 2 dot select by visible
Right?
text.
And what is the visible text that you are using?
The it's gonna be New York.
Yeah, correct. That's it. Okay, good job. So we will do the same thing for on also, because there are bunch of drop downs here. I'll just copy this, and this I will call cell 3, and this one, the XPath changes. That's all right. October, so it is on. So drop down underscore.
Drop down underscore.
Yeah.
Month.
On
It's gonna
month.
be on month. Yeah.
Right. And this is a
select 3. Select by visible text.
And yeah, so I want to go in the month of November. So let's make this November. Okay. Okay, Sabina, what about the select day on date? Let's choose. I want to go on November 30th. Okay. So how do you automate this? Cell 4 on day, right? D can D can be capital. Okay, so that you can change. Okay. I'll just go here because on month both are similar. So in order, because I have already used month, what I have to do, if I want to change this used variable, I have to refactor it. Remember, these are the concept I'm explaining you intrinsically. I mean, instead of exclusively, I am explaining you inclusively in the code so that you will understand better. Okay. This is how you refactor, rename on day. Now back where we were, just to go to back, so you can go back to flight. See, this is where we are. So we are back to here. So automatically change to capital C. I didn't have to change it again. So on day, this will be 30th. Okay, when arriving in. Okay, so I'll just copy this. Okay, next class, I mean next Java class, I will use one line for select. So I'm just going step by step so that you don't get confused. Okay, so arriving in. So where do you want to arrive? So let's arrive in Paris. Okay, arriving in Paris. So cell 4 drop down. Okay, so this will be arriving in, and cell 4 this will be Paris. Okay, cell 5 actually. Wait. Okay, anybody jump in and tell me the next one. Returning on. Is it a return? I mean, I chose the one way, so I don't have to specify the returning, right? I can leave it. Actually, it's wrong. The returning section should be disabled because one way it doesn't make any sense. Okay, but let's just leave it as it is. Okay, now let's go to preferences, service class. So this is over. Okay, tell me the preferences. I want to go on first class. So I want, by default economy class is chosen. So I will choose first class. So how would I choose? Radio button, it's easy, right? Driver dot find element by dot xpath and finder dot radio, and service class you choose from here. First class, that's what I'm going for. Then dot click, you have to apply. So this is all in one line because it's a clickable element. Okay, airline preference, do you have any preference? No, I can go for the default. So I'll just leave it. Just directly click on continue. So how do I click on continue? By .xpath, and its XPath is coming from Flight Finder. Okay, everything I'm typing partially and pressing Control space on my end so that it is auto filled. So Flight Finder dot. Then I'll type what button, because I know for a fact that it's a button. So now I'll see button dot continue. It's there. B. Okay, even the radio buttons are selected. Just to avoid this, I'll go for okay. Even it is showing radio buttons, right? Because button is partially in radio button too. So I just have to choose the appropriate one. Then dot click. Okay, so this is a kind of partially modularized framework. I'll keep this, and going forward, I'll further. I mean, I won't change this one because this is important for understanding. I will going forward. We will directly call like select radio button. I'll call the function and pass its XPath. So you don't have to do this lengthy line of coding. Okay, so till continue, we are done. So what we'll do, what we have to do right now, we have finished the coding. After finishing coding for one page, what we have to do? We have to call it in the test case, correct? So sign in we are doing away with, right? So I'm just leaving it commented so that you guys know in future if you want to sign in is fixed, then you will be able to, I mean, uncomment it and put it as part of automation. So that's up to you. Okay, so immediately after reservation, I am going to click on flights, and thereabout I am going to book a flight. So this is a flight finder. Okay, so I want to call flight finder. How do I call it? Whatever I coded so far, I have to call it, right? So what I have to do first, instantiate what?
Flight Finder.
Not flight finder, flights.
Oh,
Oh,
flights.
flight finder is a page. That's it. Flights, small flights equals new. Okay, I instantiate it because this is a non-static function. I have to instantiate. There is no other way around. So just import the flights, and then using the flights, what do you want to call? Flight finder. That is the method, right? And I'm passing the driver. So that's it. So the flight finder is the one we defined just now. So this is all being called, and driver is passed in the test case. The same driver which is instantiated in the setup here, the launch browser which is returning the driver, the same driver is maintained throughout, because that is very important. Otherwise it will break the code. Okay, so after this, what we have to do after the calling in test case, we have to debug it quickly, correct? So I mean run it quickly. Debugging is actually term is used for when you want to, when you encounter an error or exception, I want to put a breakpoint somewhere like this. It will execute till here smoothly and stop it here, and so that I can go step by step, watch the variables and the values, exception where it's occurring by stepping into and stepping over or stepping back. These are three options. So we will, I have already shown you that, we will see going forward this. So this is actually called, okay, so quick run, just to check whether your code is working or not, that's all. So I'll run it. Okay, this is not closed, so I'll close this. Okay, so for selected some, but probably it's not going forward. So I see on is selected, on day is not selected. I think I went for the 30th date. Okay, let's see what's going on. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting. What I'm getting, exception. So it broke somewhere. Okay, let's see clearly. Cannot locate the element with so and so. The XPath is wrong. No such element. Okay, we did not put the comment so far, the log comment. So that's why directly I'm seeing this. Remember, So then we will add more comments when we actually go for the infrastructure method. So don't worry about them. So for now, I'm getting exception at what point? So what should I do? Exception always come from the below. At test case, the line number 36 has exception. Just click on it. Okay. So obviously Flight Finder has exception. So inside Flight Finder, where in this Flight Finder I have exception. So let's see. So for that, click on the line above, right above this. Okay. So it shows at flows.flight finder line number 31. There is an issue. So line number 31. See, exactly this is where it stopped as suspected. So select by visible text by 30, it's failing. Okay. Now select by visible text, select classes, this is not ours. This is a built-in org.openqa.selenium.support.ua.select by visible text is defined in the Selenium. Okay, so in Selenium. So this is not in our hand. So even if you click, it will not take you unless you have attached the source code, it will not take you anywhere. So I have to fix somewhere here. So basically I have to fix the XPath. Most likely it is XPath issue. Drop down on day. Okay. Now let's go to, because 30 number I see here, where here. Yeah, 30 number is there. So it didn't select. That means that it couldn't locate the drop down itself because of XPath mistake or something. So that we will find out. So how do we find out? Simply I'll take it and validate it. Not here. Here. Okay, how do I open DOM? If I want to validate XPath, what is the shortcut? Anyone?
Right click inspect.
That is one way. Or Control Shift I. Shortcut is, I told you. Or right click inspect, that is one way. So if I want to directly inspect this one, okay, directly right click on this one and inspect. Control Shift I is a shortcut. The same thing it will do. So I'll just locate this again and okay, Control F.
Do from departing, no? Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So that is what I'm highlighting. So it is correct. Whatever Sabina has written is correct. This is, I took it from Sabina. Select contains name from day. So if I hover over it, it shows highlighted yellow and one of one match. So everything looks okay. So let's see what went wrong. And this has value 30. Yes, it is there. So let's go for value instead of visible text. Let's go for value. Maybe that's not working because XPath is fine from day. Yeah, let's go for the from day. No, so this is fine. So I'm leaving that. I'm coming to here. So instead of select by visible text, let's go for select by value because the developer has given value. Okay. Okay, let's go for 25. Okay, I'll just change it to 25. Okay, the value is actually a string, so I have to put in quotes. Okay, so let's try to debug this again. So debug. So how we will actually debug right now. So until this point, I will run it and I'll just put a debug. Okay, there is a okay. You know what? That was correct too because cell 3 I'm operating on the month and cell 3 I'm operating on date again. So that was a mistake. This has to be cell 4. So otherwise that was correct. Select by visible text. So select by value is also correct. So let me keep this one too just for the different function. Okay. Now let's debug and see. The mistake was calling that instead of calling cell 4, I was calling cell 3. Okay, that was a mistake. That was a copy paste mistake. However, we'll debug this. So it will come till here smoothly and pause over there. So what I have to do instead of running, I have to debug. So debug is here, this symbol, bug symbol, debug. Or you can right click on it, and instead of run as, you go for debug as. Okay, Java application. That is the difference. Okay, this breakpoint, wherever I put, it will come there and stop, so that we can further dig. Okay, now it is trying to launch debug perspective. Okay, so this is called perspective Java. Now if I say yes, okay, remember your decision, you don't have to confirm this every time. So it will open debug perspective in a different manner. So this is a debug perspective. See, now it went all the way, came here, and it is expecting you to run right now. So here we are. It selected November, and it is expecting you to go step by step. Okay, now there are options here: step into, okay, and step over. Shortcut is F6. Step return, okay, step back or step return, same thing. Step into means this particular line, until this portion it is executed. Okay, this portion is executed. Whatever is highlighted in green, olive green, okay, that's where I put the debug point, break point. It is expecting you to run. It didn't run yet. It is waiting for you to give command. So this is not run. That's why the day is not selected yet. Okay, day is not yet selected. November is selected, day is not selected. Okay, so step into means, listen to this carefully. I want to go inside this method, the select method. Okay, now the select method is not custom method, not user defined method. I didn't define it. It's a built-in method. So I have nothing to do with that one. So I don't want to step into select. So what else is step over? That means I want to execute it over and pass on to the next line. So step over means that don't go inside, but just execute it and go to the next line. That's step over. Step return means I want to go back, like return to this statement. I don't want to do that. So the appropriate one is step over. Okay. If it were my own method, I would have stepped into and see what's inside written wrongly, because I didn't write it. Even if I go there, I cannot do anything. Okay, step over F6. Okay, now the XPath is selected. Now where do you see the XPath? Here, variables or somewhere. Okay, so select for is a remote web element, you can see, and since there is no variable, it's direct. You can't see anything, so it just found the web element, that's it. Okay, so that is the XPath we have written, and it found the web element because it didn't throw an error, it found it actually. Okay, from there, and these are all just arrays. So same thing, like I told you, so the whole string is chunked up into characters, then it's basically array of characters string. So now select by value. So if I want to step over or step into, now select by value is not a custom function, right? It's a default built-in function, not a user defined. So I'll step over F6, you can press. Okay, now it is executed. Now let's see if it is executed or not. Backend, yes, it is executed. 25th is selected, so that means it is going fine. Now I can play it. I mean, I can go step by step, or I can just resume, so it will continue. So then I'll switch to debug perspective again and see. Okay, successfully we went. It actually executed in the back end. You don't have to keep it in the front end too. That is the advantage of driver. So that even if you using multiple drivers, you can go parallel testing, like execute multiple tests, 10 tests at the same time, one after another, backside. That means 10 windows of Chrome driver instances will be opened one after another. They will execute it and the screenshots will be taken, no problem. So because it is a driver dependent, driver takes care of everything. You don't even have to see. You can pretty much do your own work while it is executing. I can do anything here. On the back end, it will still do the execution continues, but while debugging, it's not recommended. So you just look at the screen as it's doing. Okay, so it successfully did it. Okay, now what is the next one? You have to select the flight in real time, also in the real time application, like wherever you're booking, like um, what are the booking sites? cheapflights.com and kayak.com. Kayak.com is a compilation of all flight plans, or qatar.com. Wherever you want to book a flight, you will choose a flight appropriately according to your pricing, budget, and timings, preferences, and everything. Okay, so now we are into different class, select flight. Now let's see. Yeah, we have created select flight for XPaths, page objects. Now we have to do the XPath collection. Okay, so first one is depot section. Anybody did XPath for this one, or should we write it right now? I guess not. So let's write it. Public static final. Okay, what is the string here? What type of object you are trying to operate upon? Radio, right? And it's a okay. So this is all subjective based on your selection, because I chosen from New York to Paris. This will be displayed, so maybe it will change if you are going for somewhere to somewhere else. New York to Paris, this is the flights available. So here we have to go a little bit dynamically, but let's see if that is needed. We'll go dynamically. So okay, so I, instead of writing for all this, I'll choose the last one, United Airlines. Okay, United Airlines. Okay, now what is the XPath for United Airlines? I'll just Control-Shift-I. Okay, now right. Input, okay, I can just go for value, right? Because all the radio types are radio. There are 4 radios. I cannot choose. Name will be outflight. All these are outflight. So that will be 2. Okay, unless you want to write the complex path, you can do. But value is unique. But the value, if you see, the pricing might change for different flight. 363, $281, 11.24. I mean departing time 11 clock 24 minutes. Airline number 336. All this is mentioned by $sign. Separation of $sign. Dollar doesn't mean dollar actually. So that's how developer has defined. So the advantage of contents is just to avoid this, because this is dynamic. I can choose different one, and this will only work if you don't have any other unified airlines. So fortunately, if you look at this, only one airline is specified one time. Blue Skies airline. Oh, Blue Skies is repeated, so be careful. So the flight number changes to okay. So my preference of airline is Unified Airlines 363. So I will go for 363 also, just to avoid if there is any Unified Airlines with different number 365 or something. Okay. So if you look at it, Blue Skies is only one repeated. It has different flights. Otherwise, Pangea Airlines and Unified Airlines are different. So let's do this dynamic XPath also. I'll show you. Input. I have to do this again. Now remember, I am not doing for all the 4 radio buttons. You can do that just to avoid. Just to save time. I'm directly going for what I'm operating upon. Okay, so input contains @value, and what is the value here? Whole value I cannot take because this is subject to change. The pricing is not constant, remember. So I have to avoid that. Okay, this is one-of-one match, but the 1124 can be subject to change, right? I mean, I can change my test data accordingly. So I am removing this. still 1 of 1. 281 price, still subject to change. I can go for 363. Okay, because I'm using content, still it is valid. Okay, 363 I'm using because Unified Airlines has different flight number also, so who knows. So let me go for this one. Everybody is with me, or any confusion? So far so good, right? No problem. Okay, return I don't have to choose actually because I am going for one way. Okay, so we can change the test case for that one later. So just for that I am going for return flight always blue skies. This time I will take blue skies return flight. So I will go for this one. Yeah, so name in flight, that was out flight, right? So we could have mentioned because in flight and out flight both have same. Yeah, so name is out flight, that is must because these both have same flights. 360, 360, same flight is coming back. The only difference is this is a in flight, this is out flight, or this is out flight, this is in flight, right? So we have to mention that one. So I have to definitely go for the complex query, complex exports. Okay, so I just have to mention. Okay, it's not.
630 or 360?
Which one?
You said both number is same, 360. The other one I think coming back is 630, isn't it?
Oh, okay, okay, you are right. Yeah, yeah, right, right. Okay, the flight is different. Okay, okay. Anyway, just to show you the difference in technical XPath, I'll just take it in. So out, it is a good idea, right? Even if you all the values are different, you just be careful in XPath. In future, also it might change. So I'm just avoiding it. Out flight. Okay. So you're right. So out flight and in flights are both are different in terms of flight numbers. But I'm just going for, okay, mentioning explicitly, oh, this is out flight and that is in flight. It's not wrong if you're going for a uniqueness, little bit more careful. Okay, and this is also good practice for writing a complex express. So okay, so now I'll go for, this is actually out flight, so depart, so I have to mention that depart, and this is return. Return I am not using right now, but I'll just create the XPath for other test cases. So remember, you have to create XPath for all, and because other test cases might use this one too, right? So just for saving time, I'm going for 2. But you can fill in once you check out the code from here GitHub. Okay, so then you should be able to contribute to code. Okay, return I want to go for Blue Skies Airlines. Okay, so let's write the XPath for that. Okay, so I want to go for this guy. So Blue Skies in flight, and value is Blue Skies. Okay, so then I'll there is one of two matches. See, Blue Skies. So I have to go for this dollar sign. Blue Skies dollar 631. Okay, now there is something wrong. Let's see what's that. Okay, it's actually Blue Skies Airlines. It's still one of two matches. So 631. Okay, now one of one match. So remember, this is a second one, second variable I am going. Okay. Finally, continue button. Continue button should not change from the previous continue button, but let's not take chances. Input, okay, I'll use the same. Name is reserved flights. And what else I can go for? It's an image, correct? So I can go for type image. Yeah, these numbers subject to change. So whichever you suspect, don't check. Or you can go for source, right? Source is a good idea too. So let's go for source. Sub C, and it has continue. So I'll just choose continue. Continue. So I got one match. So simply you select like this and change this to button, and value is continue, and delete some extra spaces. Okay, so this is easy. We are done with the XPaths. Okay, now what else we have to do? We have to define the flows. That's what we are doing. 3-step process. Today somebody told me saying overwhelmed. They are overwhelmed, right? So it's not. You don't have to be overwhelmed. It's a 3-step. First XPath creation, then come to flows, define the class, and then call that in the test case. That's all we have been doing so far. Okay, tell me now what we have to do. Flows. What is the flows class should be named as? What is this we are dealing with? Select flight, right? Select flight is already there naming. So I'm just going for the little bit different name for the flows. So tell me what should be the name, right? What
In
should I
my
name this?
I approach with the page, like I prefix it for every page. Like for flights, I use page page flights, and like page register, page sign in. I follow that approach for my project.
Yeah. Pages also you can go for pages or flows. That's what we are named as, right? Pages, and then we change it to flows. It's all subjective. Okay. I'm just going for select flights depart return just to avoid the confusion. You can give the same name, but only thing you have to keep in mind is the declaration of the this packages. Okay, that's all. So just to avoid confusion in the beginning for the beginners, I'm going for whoever worked on the real-time project, they are already experienced for other projects. So same approach can be used for Selenium WebDriver also, no difference. Only thing is you have to keep the STLC, software testing lifecycle, in mind. I mean, you have to go with those black box testing techniques for the data that will come to. So it's a mixture of development and testing. So automation is 50% testing, 50% development. So hence you are called half developer, half tester. So both you have to keep in mind. Okay, so we created a class. Next, what we have to do? Yes, I'll just create a function, and I can create two different functions, because if I don't want to return, I don't have to call it, right? So let's create two functions. Yes, tell me, how do I create function? Public void depart. Okay, and this should take driver. Remember, every function in the flow or pages must take driver as a argument, because when you call, this has to be driven by the same driver. So that's why we have to pass driver. Okay, static driver. Otherwise it would be very difficult to execute. Okay, now tell me what I have to do. I just have to operate on, right? Driver dot. Yes, is XPath select. Yes, select.
Depart.
No, select flight. See, there is a difference. I had to call the page objects one, not the flows. Flow, I am already in the flow, so I cannot call that one. So here select, right, then radio button, depart. Dot click. Simple. Okay, so this is all for depart. Now I'll create another function for. So the only difference between the previous ones and this one is I'm creating two functions, because based on one way round trip, I can choose both are one, depart or return. Okay, so here the only thing that differs is the XPath. Return blue sky. Okay, so return is actually a keyword. Do not use return. So let's use depart flight and return flight. You cannot use the Java keywords, one of which is return. Okay, now everything is fine. Then continue. Continue button is anyway you have to do it. So depart. So let's say there are three scenarios. I am one way. I am only departing. I am not returning. In which case I have to definitely click the continue button. So in case I am returning, I have to go for depart as well as return and then continue. Okay. So do you want to keep the continue separately, or do you want to click the continues in the same thing? Up to you. So you got my point. From testing perspective, I can just depart, select depart and continue. Okay, in which case continue can be kept here, or I have to choose depart and return. So in this case, I will call both, then continue. Okay. Now there are a bunch of options here. So because I had to either choose depart, or I cannot just choose return. I have to just choose depart or depart and return. But ultimately I have to continue. So I'll put a separate function. So don't worry. So this do like this, or there are multiple approaches. I'll call the driver. Do not think this is the only approach. There are multiple approaches. It's all continues again keyword. So continue. Just naming convention can be. Okay, so driver dot find element. Select flight dot button. Okay. Now everything is done. We just have to call this in the test case, correct? So this test case, I'm going for one way, let's say, right? So what I have to do, I just have to this page select. Okay, so now tell me, how do I call select flight or select flight depart return? I have to instantiate. So instead of instantiating and calling that, I'll show you in one line. New, I can directly create new instance of select flight depart return. Yeah, dot. Directly I can do this. Okay, so instead of going. Now first is I want to depart flight, right? Driver is paused, and then I don't want to return because I booked the one-way ticket. Okay, then directly I can continue. Okay. Now select flight is over. Now what we have to do? Step by step. I select this one and continue. Okay, so that I'll go to next. Now what we have to do? I have to quickly run and see. Okay, so that perfectly executed. So I just selected the depart and continue. Okay, now we are landed in the book a flight. Book a flight. Same thing we have to do. Book a flight is already created but empty. There we go. Okay, so tell me. Okay, flight has many objects which we want to operate upon, okay, including the validation. Okay, so I want to validate my flight price and the number of passengers is correctly calculated, combining with the taxes is correctly calculated in the total price. Okay, that is one validation I have to do here. Okay, in the next page there is one more validation, don't worry. So this validation I have to do, and I have to deal with here text, getting text, capturing the text. Remember I told you for previous page somewhere username, correct, if you remember. So same thing we have to do, and we have to deal with calculation, and we have to deal with substrings also, string manipulation. So $, see, $, has to be excluded because you cannot add $90. I mean, you cannot operate on $90 plus 270 into 2, right? You have to remove this $sign in order to do the arithmetic. That's what I'm saying. Okay, then remaining are just basic operations like set text, string keys, like drop down value, and there is one checkbox here. That is a new one. So we'll check box, and we will basically modify billing address, and these are automatically populated. So I can choose one of these, change, and then continue. Secure purchase. Okay. Okay, this is a little bit complicated than the other ones. So okay, so first of all, what I want to deal with here, first summary, correct? I'm going step by step. Okay, which is the first object you want to capture the XPath for? Tell me. What do you recognize? What are the object? So initially, just for keeping it simple, I want to select. Okay, let's open the XPath window. The reason I am executing this every time is because I want to land up in that page so that I can capture the XPaths, right? Because I don't want to go to this page manually. So I come here comfortably and just find the XPath. So the automation will automatically take care of that, including the XPaths. Okay, so look at here. Previous page I have seen the price of the ticket, right? Price of the flight ticket, 281. Now I have to make sure whatever price I chose there, it is displayed here correctly, correct? That is one way. And date also I can capture. Do you want to also go for date? Yes. 25th is the, I chose this one, right? 11 November 25th is the depart date I chosen. So you want to validate that this Paris to New York, it actually displayed this one, but it is not a two-way. So if you look at it, 270, okay, one-way price. I chose 2 passengers, so there is no return. There should not be any return. So let's see if it is calculated correctly, or we will go accordingly. If you have to choose the return flight based on this, so we will see. 270 multiplied by 2 is 500 or something. So 500 plus 90 is 590. So here it is double. So basically it is going for the return flight also, correct? That is how it is. So 2 flight and coming, depart and return, okay, multiplied by 2. So 500 multiplied by 2 is somewhere around $1,000, 1,000 plus and plus 90 taxes. So it is basically going for return flight also. I don't have a choice. That's how it's a bug, but it's a non-maintainable site, so we have to go for return two-way. So we will change that in the previous previous code. We will choose the return flight and go accordingly, because I cannot validate here. Remember, I chose for the, you understand what I'm saying? I chose for the one way. Here the price is calculated for the two ways, which is a bug. So if it is real-time application, what would you do? You will raise a. However, just for automation, I don't want to trace the bug, so I'll go back and change my test case accordingly. Okay, if you understand that. Okay, don't worry. So now my intention is to calculate the price correctly or not, validate it. That's all. Okay, somebody was saying something. Go ahead. Okay. So, okay, that's validation. Then I'll operate on these objects. So where can I do that change? Tell me. In the code. Where? Where did we select the flight written in this one? Flight depart and return is okay, but flights probably yes. So instead of one way, I'll choose a two way. See here, radio button flight one way is chosen. So instead I'll choose two way. And remember, if I don't choose return way, automatically the default is selected. So that's fine. Still I'm good. So I'll just comment this and I'll go for two-way. And remember, two-way was already selected by default. So I don't even have to do this. I can just leave it. Go with the default boundary. I can go with select this or just leave it. So just for the sake of mentioning the operation clearly, I'm putting this. So I commented this one. I can switch or I can use go with the test case accordingly. So the test case is just book a flight, the return flight. Let's name it up afterward. Okay. Anyway, so I am. Let's assume that I'm going for the return way and the price of one-way ticket for each person is 281, right? One way is 281, coming is 270. Adding and multiplying by 2 plus adding the taxes give rise to the total price including taxes. So I just want to validate that one. So then I'll operate on this one. Okay. Now let's only concentrate on prices because if I also include dates, it will take a lot of time and probably you can do this as a homework. Whatever date you have chosen, the same date is displayed here. Okay, you do that as a homework. All right. So let's go for this price. Okay. Now tell me the XPath for the price here 281, 270, 290, and boom. That's it. Yeah. What is the type? Okay, so I can come from its parent. Remember, TD, okay, or TD. So yes, bunch of TDs. See, this is actually table. These are all TRs, the horizontal rows, and the cells are TDs, table data. Okay. Now we have to choose. Okay, I'll dock it a little bit down. Okay, so when you are dealing with the table, you have to choose carefully. One way is I can choose the whole text and take a substring of each. That is one way, or I can go for this one. Okay, remember the 281 is subject to the flight I chose because I chose Unified Airlines. So it's 281. So if I choose a different one, it would be different. So you cannot put 281 and choose that one in the XPath. So how do you do that? So basically you have to go for the hierarchy. Okay, one quick way is just see how the absolute XPath looks like. Okay, just for your, you have to customize this though. Okay, this is the whole hierarchy. This is the absolute XPath. Okay, now we have to make it relative. Now if you look at the table, okay, this is a web table. If you look at, if you take this as a whole table, this is a first row, second row, third row, fourth row. In the fourth row, 1, 2, 3, third column, my price is displayed. I want to choose that one. That is easy. Whatever price is displayed, I will take it. If it is $315, I'll capture it. Okay. That means in the fourth row, third column, whatever is the price, just take it. That's what I'm commanding to the WebDriver, right? So that is a good way because if the table structure is not changed, it will always be unique and correct. Now, if I take 281 only always because 281 is the text, it might fail next time because if I choose a different flight, 281 may not be the price. So you cannot depend upon the value. So you know what I'm saying. I had to depend upon when it comes to web table, I had to depend upon the hierarchy of TDTR. So that's why just copy it, but I'm going to change this, customize this according to my needs. Okay. Now, if you look at it, you don't have to take HTML and body div. I can comfortably remove this till here, so I can directly start from table. So / table. Okay, how many matches? One match. Good. So if you look at it, font is a direct descendant, right? This is a font has whatever. Now its parent is TD. Okay, TD, third one, like I told you, third column. Okay, first column TD1, TD2, TD3. Imagine this is a table. First column, second column, third column, TD3. Okay, so TD3. Now TR3, table row. This is in table row 3. Okay, which one is that one? First row, second row, third row. Okay, so that's what it means, TR3. So exactly we are at TR3 here. Okay, so that is TD and TR. So this TR is the third one, because there are bunch of TRs. TR, TR, TR here. Okay, TR. These all TRs are siblings, so don't worry about them. This is all in T body, table data. So table data is coming from here. So if you go all the way, I can go all the way till here. So instead of constructing this, I took a help of the Chrome XPath. So that's why I just directly went for the copy here. Where did I go? Come down. When you're dealing with, remember, listen to this again. When you're dealing with web tables as complex as this, just copy the XPath, because it has whole bunch of hierarchy, and remove the unwanted hierarchy and directly customize it. So my customization is perfect so far. I can actually remove font also and see, yeah, still table data 3 as my this thing. So I can choose the whole descendant. So let's see. I can customize. Okay, maybe I can take table from here. All it matters is you want to get one match. Yes, because I don't have to go till all the way. This is all table within a table. You don't see that padding, but it is hidden. Its property hidden is true in the backend. Okay, so this is still good. So let's see if I go for this table. Okay, so now you see, okay, don't worry, I didn't put the relative, because slash means direct, it's not starting from table, it's starting from HTML, so I had to put /. Still one match. So where I'm starting from this table, because I am only dealing with this table, the table data, if I want to capture, this is a 3, this is 4, 5, 6, and till here I can deal with. So this is still good. Okay, let's see if I go for this table. It may not. Okay, still I'm good. So I can choose only this table. I don't have to take into consideration the other outer tables. So table has T body, which has third row and third column. That's all it matters. This table has T body, 1, 2, 3, third row, 1, 2, 3, third column. That's it. Okay. So I could have written this manually, but it would take to figure out it would take a lot of time. So I took the help of Chrome's built-in, and I customized it according to my needs. Okay, now we will put this in our, okay, so book a flight is here, and what would you call this as? What is the type of object? Text underscore flight 2, right? This is a departing flight price. Okay, so that's our text. Okay, so same thing we have to do for other text too. What is the next one you want to go for? This one. Okay, now how would you deal with this one? So let's try to change this manually. Third column is constant.
TR9, TD9.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if this is the third row, fourth row, fifth row, sixth row. So I'll just change TR, table row 6. Let's see. It's all trial and error. So 6, yes, see, that's where it's pointing. So my guess is correct. You just have to play with this carefully. Now this is the most optimized XPath because it is very shorter. That's how I customized it. So do not take default absolute, which is very lengthy. So customize it. See, I started from the immediate table. It's grandparent table, it's parent table body, and it's I mean it's child, and my interest is in this guy. So TR6. Okay, what would you call this one? What is this pertaining to? This is actually a return flight price for a single member, right? Okay. All right. So next, number of passengers I chose as 2. Okay, now I have to verify that one too, because what if the price is calculated for 3 members or 1 member, so which is wrong. So basically I have to validate it, because if it is calculated 1 member, the company is losing money, correct? So that is wrong. So less money is charged from the customer. So I am working for the company. I have to make sure this one true. So let's capture this one. Okay, now without even highlighting, I want to change this value and see. Okay, what guess the column number is correct because I'm only dealing with the last column, which is third column, 1, 2, 3. Now tell me the row number. I'll change and guess, educated guess, wild guess.
7.
2, 7. Yeah, that's it. 7. It's the next one, right? 7. Okay, is it not coming? It's not coming. So our guess is wrong. So let's go carefully. Okay, don't worry. This may belong to different table altogether, because I told you are different row. So that's why our thing is failed. Maybe our table ended right here. This is a different table. You don't know, because that is totally hidden. The borders are not visible because it's hidden. The only whatever developer wants to show you, only those are visible. You can only see this. Okay. Now what I have to do? I cannot go with this approach. Again, I have to go with highlighting to, and what else? Right click on it, copy. This is only good for web tables. Okay, remember, do not do this for others, because others are don't have to deal with the hierarchy. Okay, so copy the XPath and paste it. Now the whole hierarchy you cannot take in, obviously. You delete it until this table, because this table I already took a look at. So I have to take its parent table again. So 2 tables now. Okay, still 0 matches. Okay, now Control Z. Now let's go for its grandparent table. Okay, so now it comes into picture. See, that's why, that is the reason. The whole hierarchy has made it complicated. So I cannot write this manually. So all I have to do is take the help of built-in XPath validator of Chrome and customize it. Okay, now I'll remove the font. Okay, now this TD, I cannot change any of these tables. If I remove the table from here, it's not resulting in. So this means that there is a table in the hierarchy which has 5th row and first column, which has another table in that column whose row number is 2, right? And which has another table in that row, in that table cell, which has 7th row and second column. So that's what it is. Okay, isn't it complex? So definitely this will take a lot of time if you're dealing with manually. So I'll take the help of built-in, but I customized it according to. Okay, now what is this actually? Public static. This is the this is how you write XPaths for web tables. Web tables approach is a little bit different than other objects like this. So you have to pay attention. Do this couple times, practice this, and you will get it. Okay, now what is this again? Text, number of passengers equals, that's it. Okay, so this is still optimized because I'm not going for shorter or longer. If I go any shorter than this, it is invalid. If I go longer than this, it will be not optimized. So this is just perfect. Okay, next I have to capture taxes also, because I have to calculate the whole arithmetic thing. So I had to capture this, but I'll take off this because if I cannot take only this portion, I have to take the whole portion. Then I'll go for the substring like we did yesterday, and so that I can avoid the $sign for arithmetic purpose. Okay, now any guesses? Here it is easy. After 2, immediately the next row has $90. So tell me, what should
8.
I? That's it. It's easy. Now I'll take this. So this text is, what is this text for? Tax. And whatever I captured here, I'll put it here. That's it. And finally, total price. Okay, now anyone who can guess what should be the table row for total price?
9.
Okay, let's see. Perfect. That is correct too. So let's do this. I'm just copying the previous row and pasting so that I can save time. And this is the total price. And I'll just select the whole text, just double click after the quote, delete it, and copy paste. These are all techniques, just come with experience. Okay, so now I captured all text. Now I just deal with this passengers section. Okay, now, okay, so let's go quickly. I'll just copy these guys and put it here, bunch of them. So you'll get error, don't worry, I will resolve it. Okay, so this is easier. First name again. Okay, so as usual we will go. So this is not a table. Even though it's in table, I don't have to deal with text, so it's easier. It's a direct object, operatable object. So tell me, input, and select again because it goes to the first input always. Now you customize it. Yeah, so this is going to contain and break name as passenger first. Okay, so 0 I'm not sure, so I'm just avoiding the 0 because it might change. So 1 of 2, okay, that's no problem. So let's go for first 0, 1 of 1. Okay, so there is a first name for the second passenger, so and it index start from 0. 0 means first passenger, 1 is second passenger, so I'll go for that. No problem. So what is this guy called? Passenger's first name, correct? And it's a text box. So it's a first name 1, right? Because I'm choosing for 2 passengers, it displayed 2 passengers names fields. So first name, last name 1, first name 2, last name 2, passenger 1. Even though it says 0, for me it's name 1. So I'll go with my instinct. Okay, so obviously this would be last name. Okay, so for pass means passenger. Okay, I'll just change and see. Okay, so this is correct. So this is last name 1, and simply I'll copy this. And next will be obviously the last one. Let's see. Yeah, so that's a last name 1. So I can pretty much copy these 2 guys. So first name 2, last name 2, and this is a first name 1. 1 means second, last name. Okay, so because by changing 1, I don't have to do any further. Meal preferences. Let's go with the default. Okay, just I'll go for the mandatory fields. Okay, credit card section. But you have to do this in the XPath. You have to capture all XPaths in real time. So I leave that to you guys as a homework. You can fill in because I have to cover much more in the framework level. So I don't want to go into these detailed XPaths. Credit card. Okay. Since I want to go for discover card, I'll choose discover here, credit card section. So this is a drop down. Now you already know how do you deal with the drop down. So tell me, how do you write? First I have to write XPath for this one anyway, correct? Select, yeah, credit card, name is credit card. Okay, that's it, credit card, that's all. So I got the XPath, but okay, so let's write the XPath for that one. So remember, initially we wrote the XPath in the flows, right? That's not a good idea. So I had to write here directly. So I didn't do that, probably. Oh, did I do that? Yeah, I did. I think I drop down. Oh yeah, I did that. So, but I paused this in the select. So we went for the two-step process. Now we will go for the one step for select. So first I'll do two-step process. Three step, then I'll go for one, two step and one step because we have, yeah, three, right? Okay. So let's go. I'll show you all the steps. Drop down for the credit card. Okay, drop down for what? What is it? Credit card type. Be as explicit as possible. So that. Okay, next is credit card number. Okay, let's deal with these guys and we'll go to that. So this is a expiration, right? Okay, so the name is credit card expiration date month. Okay, so all in short forms. Okay, so that is credit card expiration date month. Okay, credit card. We have to be explicit in naming convention so that it is more readable and understandable. Expire. Okay, no more underscore, just one underscore. Expiration month. Okay, so then expiration date would be obviously what expiration date, oh year, sorry, expiration date year. Don't need to put the date. All right, so I'll copy this guy. Okay, so this will be year part. Okay, so drop downs are over, so I'll go with the default. So then I'll ask you to capture the XPaths for these guys because I'm going with the defaults. Ticketless travel, we will definitely do this because this is the first checkbox we are encountering, so I'll definitely check it. Okay, then is number, credit card number. This would be easier, I guess. So input, name. Okay, so remember, if I want to don't want to write, I have written the input previously, right? I can just go with the Control Z. It will display. Okay, so now I'm at the input. So you can go to the previous history. So that's easier for. So name is credit card number. Okay, one of one match. This is how we do in real time. So I'm exactly showing you how we do. Okay, credit card number. And its XPath is Okay. So we will do first name, middle name, last name, since they are not mandatory, because it probably will choose the whatever billing address is same as shipping address thing. So it will choose from here probably. It's not in red, so I'm going with the mandatory fields. So let's do this ticketless travel and secure purchase. Two more to go. So don't forget to capture XPath for this one, because I will give you this like test case for homework, like fill in all the billing details that matches with your actual addresses. So you have to fill in those. Okay, so checkbox is definitely it's clickable. So it's nothing. It's just like input, but just for the first time we are dealing with it, I'm choosing. Type is checkbox. That's all. Name is ticketless. Value is checkbox. Let's go with this. One of two matches. So obviously there is no other checkbox. Okay, or value checkbox. I have to go for the what? And contains the rate value checkbox. Oh, still two matches. Let's see what is the other match. Okay, so there is one more checkbox here, deliver address. So let's further dig down. So this is a good opportunity. So what would you do here? You have to filter out to one match. So you can take into consideration the table data structure, or you can just put the parents here. So if I look at it, yeah, it has a child, okay, slash font, okay. I'm putting a child immediate, that's why single slash. It's not distant related. So font has ticketless travel as a text, correct? So I'm going for a full match. I can go for the partial match also, but I'm going for full match. Okay, so font always start the outer element. You have to put a square bracket, and text contains, I'm not going, so equals ticketless travel. Okay, so I'm exactly going for that, including the spaces, because I'm going for the full match, remember? Okay, so now I have to close this guy. Okay, still no match, so let's go for partial. Partial is always correct. I just wanted to avoid that. So this guy is comma. Now I can erase that. Okay. Okay, so still zero matches. So ticketless travel not coming. Input. If you see, this is not sibling. Okay, this is actually sibling. Input and font are the same level. This is not the parent child. Input is not a parent of font. Both are at the same level. Okay, so see, input is that one, and its sibling side by side font. You see the highlight difference? I'm changing it. Okay. Now, how do you deal with this sibling situation? Sibling, you can simply no. So font is sibling, right? There is a convention for sibling. So I just will take the help of, okay, this guy, this is the sibling, right? I'll just go for this. Okay, I'll just copy this and put it in my board. Okay, it's font. If I click on this, nothing will happen. I have to click on this, but I have to mention this. Okay, I'll simply go for, okay, I'll just copy this here, somewhere here. Okay, now that is there. Now let's see this guy's XPath. So table row to font So we are dealing with table row 2 font. That's font is coming from. Now let's do this guy. Stable structure. Copy XPath. Okay, now I'll put it right above. Okay, so both are at the same level. Table row 2 input and table data. Table data is nothing but column. Table row is horizontal. Table data is vertical, like this. So you can think of this as a row and this table data is a column. So both are in the same column, same cell. So they are siblings. So font and input. I have to mention this. There is a convention for sibling. No. Dot. Table row font, right? Definitely it's not parent. So this goes inside. No. Okay, so I had to take into consideration this because all 2 matches are coming because of this same as billing address. So I'll just take into consideration the whole XPath of the input because I am not interested in this guy. Because if I click on this one, nothing happens. I have to click on this one only. So let's take this and put this here, and this. Okay, input is already there, so I'll just combine both of them. So input is already there. Okay, this font is not required anymore. Okay, so I'll take from this table. Table T body. Okay, 3. Okay, perfect. So one match. So basically, it's table structure is combined with the object which I have to deal with input. So input I could have avoided, but the reason I took input also because just to avoid the future updates in the DOM. So it will always be unique. Okay, so remove
Hello,
these.
Selenium.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. It's nearly 1, okay?
Okay, so you want me to stop?
Just finish wherever you are, okay? Or just whatever in your hand, you can finish it. Then just...
Oh, it's 2 o'clock. It's 10 to 2.
yeah,
It's 12 o'clock for me, right? It's 1 o'clock for you. So it's basically 10 to 2, right?
yeah, just like
So
it
1
was
more hour.
last night.
Is 1 more
Yeah.
hour? Okay. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
I said that last night from 11 to 1 you will take, then
11,
we're gonna...
12. Oh, you mean 2 hours only? You said 2 hours or
Yeah,
3 hours?
for on Sundays, 2 hours, and we'll...
Oh, only on Sundays 2 hours.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, not 2 hours. Another
okay.
hour will transfer it to another guy, Russell.
Thursday. Okay, fine. I got it. Okay, I'll finish it in 2 minutes because there is one more
Yeah,
element and
yeah. Go ahead.
okay. Yeah, all right. Thanks, sir. So let's finish this guy and we will wrap it for the day. Okay, so ticketless travel, that is a checkbox, right? So checkbox. Oops. Deporting flight price. Oh, so checkbox. Okay, so what kind of checkbox it is? It is a for ticketless travel. So I'll mention that here. Travel. And what is the XPath? Okay. So one more to go. So quickly tell me what is the XPath for the other one? purchase. So we'll just input. Okay, do it again. Okay, tell me input. What do you want to take into consideration for the input of this? Name, correct? At the rate name. I'll go with the exact match. Buy flights. Okay, so that's a one match. Perfect. So I'll copy this and okay, this is a button. So I'll name it accordingly. Button underscore secure purchase. Okay. All right. So done. Now all we have to do is flight a book. We have to call in. We have to create another class called flight book. Okay, or book a flight here, and we will go accordingly in the next class Tuesday. So you can take the homework as just I'm going to check this code into this one git, or do you want me to also send the code in the zip format, or do you want to go for the GitHub?
You better push it to the GitHub.
Okay, so everybody is okay with the GitHub? Is everybody comfortable? So you can take it. I will push it to the GitHub. You will see the comment here, and you will just clone it and take it into your Eclipse. All you have to do is just export it. So I have already associated my Eclipse code with the GitHub, so I can easily push it. So you do that. I'll just, for the guys who are not comfortable with GitHub, I'll also push it to I'll also upload it here in the drive, so you can check back here and take this. All right. So okay, that's all for today, guys. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Sangam. Russell, bhai, you can take over. Hello.
Hello, Asad bhai.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
can
making
you
you
make me
presenter. Yes, yes.
presenter? Yeah, let me check. Let me just check.
So
Okay.
we have an announcement from every Sunday now. From 1 o'clock, Russell bhai is going to take a lab class. So one hour lab class.
Okay.
Over to you, Russell bhai.
Yeah, thank you, Asad bhai. This is Russell. Last Thursday, actually, I took the first class for how to write down the test cases. So some of you could not able to take that class. So my recommendation is just to go through again recorded version of that classes, and then you can walk through the videos. And if you are not understanding any topics, please let me know. Write down the question, and according to that, we'll go through to write down the test cases. So ultimate goal is we all are here, get a job, and then it is like the basic job is everybody have to write down the test cases on their project. Even though you are automation tester or manual tester, it doesn't matter. Mostly, and this is the daily activities. Sometimes some other test cases should you need to execute, or sometimes you need to write down from the scratch. Anyhow, our goal is to write down the test cases properly. We'll try based on our functionalities or whatever we have. So let's get started. I'm try to give you the example based on my knowledge or working experience, how to write down the test cases. I will give you like sample how you can write down based on the functionalities, the test cases. So when you do that class, I will recommend it to you participate, write down the test cases. Sometimes you feel bored, or it is lengthy process, it takes time to finish those tasks, but this is you need to be done by yourself, and then it will give you the confidence when you go to the office. And then if developer said to you, oh okay, this is not understanding, this is the complaint whatever you are writing, or this is not the defect. So a lot of issue it could come, but you need to overcome if you know how to write down the test case and then properly assigned, or actually you find out, oh this is actually the problem. So the thing
Sorry,
is
Russell bhai,
in
to
the
interrupt
project.
you. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you are not visible.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Let me get screen share. Okay, sorry guys. Thank you, Asad for telling me this. I thought it's shared. Last class we did some. So I have let's get started. Like can you see guys my screen run right now, right? So here step-by-step guide to test case development. So we already knows what is the test cases. Maybe some of your attendees you have experience to write down the test cases. Some doesn't have what is the test case, how to write, what is the scenarios, they don't know, and how to document it, and then you can execute the test cases. So ultimate goal is when we have the function or business requirement document, the based on the functionality, we need to document it how to test. It could be a positive test cases, it could be a negative test cases. So suppose like we you know last class when we give the lecture, like login functionality, it's easy to get started with login functionality. So login functionality is like username and password, nothing else, but it could be a defined valid and invalid data when you test it, because different companies has different functionality or different requirements. Suppose maybe company has username limitation is 6 to 16 characters or 8 to 16 characters, and password combination sometimes they put alphanumerical or alphanumerical plus one uppercase. Some company requirement is uppercase plus one special character, not all special characters. Some defined special character, suppose dash or underscore or exclamatory sign you can use for. So that way you need to write down that such a test data to ultimately find out the defect. So our job is at the end user. So as a tester we are acting as an end user. End user means the whatever the application in production, and then regular consumer or customer are using that application, and then they are smoothly can use that functionality. So we need to act as a end user, and we need to, our job is as an inspection to find out is there any missing components or missing functionalities working as expected. Is there any issues like expected result is not meeting or is not met to actual result to expected result, then it is the issue. So for the last class also, I'll recommend it to you, if you are not to go through, just make a time and then finish it by, like, you know, Sangam already taking the class for automation. I know you guys getting a lot of works from automation. In the beside, I'm trying to parallelly go through manual process, and then when you take the class, definitely you will feel more comfortable day by day. So here you are, we knows that test case is a simple term. Here we mention it, right? Simple term to refer a documentation which specified input, precondition, set of execution steps, or expected result. So a good test case is one which is affecting at finding defects, also converts most of the scenarios combination of the system under test. What does mean? It means like we need to write down the test case such a way, like the test case should be the functionalities or testing is the one functionality or one thing we need to test. Suppose like when we write down the test case, we need to focus on definitely we are testing in one functionality, not the all. It is some test cases has like end-to-end process. Suppose like you are order some items, you put on your cart, and then go to the payment option and then check out, and then all information, your personal information you paid, you entered your destination or billing address or shipping address, everything you put, shipping method you put, and then you order successfully, got the confirmation number. This is the all the way end-to-end process, but that has like huge couple of pages, lot of functionalities is together. It is end-to-end process, but it could be like end-to-end is going to be a lengthy process because it is the end time. But when you start the project, maybe all functionality is not available at a certain time, so it will create day by day and one functionality to another functionality. So when we write down the test case, we have two types of test cases. One is feature level, and another one is functional level. So functional could be end-to-end or integration, or function could be particular function level. Suppose like, okay, are you able to search the product, search functionality? Are you able to put into the cart and then browse again and then put another one, the cart functionality? Or a shipping method you can use, like how many shipping method it has, or payment option you can use payment full or partially, or by check or by credit card or by lot of things is come together, so then it is got integrated. Anyhow, so we need to focus on when we write down the test cases, mostly it could be a feature level or it could be a functional level. So feature level means particular text individual fields. Suppose you are choose something from the drop down, so that drop down could be a multiple list. So from there, when you test each and every list, we need to test. So that one is like a feature level. Or it could be your password could be a one field, and then from that particular text box, you need to check it, how to validate each and everything. What is the limitation of boundary values, what is the text it is taking. Suppose like we have a zip code text box. So zip code text box, definitely it will only allow 5 digit of number, not allowing any alphabet, not allowing any special characters. Same way, if we have credit card number, it will take 15 to 16 digit number based on the credit card number. Maybe if it is Amex, 15 digit. If other Visa or Mastercard, 16 digit number it will take, not any alphabet. So make sure no any special characters will allow. If it is a name field, only alphabet is allowed, no numbers or special characters. If it is a address, then definitely alphanumerical should be allowed. It could be a special characters like dash or comma. It could allow, not other characters. So lot of way we have to go through or write down the test cases. So go through the details, how we can test it. Before just go through this. So before writing the test cases, it is very important to have details knowledge about the system which you are testing. So that's mean when we write down the test case, before write down test cases, we need to read business requirement document. That is our blueprint. That document should come from, you already knows, it could be from BA, or it could be from, mostly it is 99% or 90% is coming from the BA, and they are written that such a way. Sometimes BRD, it could be FRD. FRD means functional requirement document. That is more technical document. Sometimes when you got this document, you might understand or you might not understand all functionality, how they implement, because it is more technical. Then that time, don't get scared. You can consult with your manager, or you can consult with your senior, or you can consult with your developer, or you can consult with your BA as well. When you have a meeting, you can bring it. Oh, I don't understand it is, or you can stop by their cube, and then you can ask them what is the functionalities mean, what they're meaning here, if it is not clear. Because before you writing a good test case, you need to understand properly your requirement first. Based on your requirement, if you understand properly, and then you can write down. So it is very important to get the knowledge about your function. So it can be any application, web application or any software. Mostly when we do Selenium, you already know Selenium is only working for web application, not the desktop application. Even though when we write down the test cases, as of now, mostly we are focusing on web application, but the test case, it doesn't matter web application or desktop application. It is matter of which functionality you are using. It is not specific with only for the web application. But when we write down the web application test cases, definitely we know how web page is built, what is the component of the web page. So each and every field, if you know how to write down, then it will give you the confidence to write down any types of web application. Because web application is nothing but it has text field, it has drop down list, it has radio button, it has checkbox, it has links, it has a search button, and so on. Those are mostly common things. And then we have a pop-up text that we already know, pop-up box, or error message, or maybe so on, mostly common things. So if we know individual fields, how to write down the test cases, and definitely all any kinds of pages we can write down. We can write down and we can start with. And then when we write down the test cases, make sure we are covering positive and negative. What is the positive? It is what is this mentioning? Suppose like you on the zip code we already know in the American zip code is US, they use 5-digit number. From every state has different number, but you cannot even put it any 6-digit or 4-digit. So that way, if it is taking 4-digit number, if it is not throwing any error, then definitely it has some validation issues because it is not taking that field. Same way on, suppose if we say like whatever credit card information, credit card fields 15-digit or 16-digit, even though we need to check it is valid or invalid. Suppose we are entering some 16-digit number, it is all a number, but that card is not valid. So when we enter invalid number, so definitely it has some background checking system to find out it is valid or invalid. Suppose card number is good, expiry date is bad, so that way it give us the error message or any kinds of combination. So we need to write down the test cases based on that. So we need to follow some guidelines, and then when you're having a hands-on experience, and then if you write down the test cases, we review that, and then you will go through and then make you more confidence. So, and then second step is like here is mentioned is gather all possible positive scenarios, like also odd case which might break the system. So such as stress testing, uncommon combination of input. So that's mean, suppose they're saying here like we need to positive test means or the credit card, if we choose from the credit card field, that's mean all combination should be valid, like all 16-digit number should be valid number. So if you put invalid number, and then it should give us the error message. So that's input fields need to be assigned properly. Proper data is data related. So even though text field is there, we can enter, but definitely it's data related. Definitely we need to write down the test case plus test data is important here. And then here the second option for the steps to write down the test cases guide here is saying like written a simple language. So when we write down the test cases, definitely we need to take it as much as simple way and understandable language. That's mean like you are writing the test cases, you are understanding by yourself. But suppose I am reviewing, or maybe other colleague, they need to execute your written test cases, and then when they go through your step by step, and then they find out like they are not understanding what they will come to at your desk, or they will ping you like, oh, okay, what do you mean by this line, what do you mean by that line, I don't get it, can you explain? So that kinds of question could might come. So easily we need to write down such a way. It is not like we are writing any essay or any mistake, it could be happen any typo, but make sure when you write down the test cases before submit, you need to review by yourself first, and then make sure there is no spelling mistake, there is no any spelling or grammatical mistake. So as much as you make it simple, and then it is important to point it accurate steps to enter. So what is the steps? Steps is like when you go through the pages, every human click by mouse or by keyboard activities, that is your steps. So suppose like if you are go through, you already knows the suppose what we would say walmart.com, right? When we enter walmart.com or login page here, that everything, suppose last time I already gave you the example for the create account. So here is the one field by first name, then click last name, email address, and then create password. So that is the four text field is here for creating account in Walmart. And then when you hit create account, and then it will create. But in the meantime, if you put something like that, and then if you go to the second field, then you got it error, because it is not the function level, like it is individual field level validation it has. Because when you leave that field, immediately it is checking it is valid or not, because I'm entering invalid. Nobody's name 12345 12344, nobody's name should be character. So it is checking the validation of field level. So it is, sorry, anybody? Oh, okay, sorry. So some equals is came, and that's why I stopped. Anyhow, that way we need to like how you can write down the simple way. You can write down the test cases. So each step, always remember steps is important. When we write down the steps, it could be a step by step when you enter anything, which data you are using, and then which field you going to. All you need to document it, because if any other people, when they go through and then they wanted to retest or reproduce the steps, whatever you written, execute by not by you, execute by some other candidate or other colleague, then they will not feel it. They will not come to you again, or can you explain it? So they will go through, and then they will easily understand what you are putting it. And don't put anything like a ambiguous, or they're guessing. Don't do like that, and don't put any instruction on your test case. Just instruction means, oh, going entering this, entering that, like that way, or click here and there. So whatever mouse and keyboard action you have, everything you need to mention it on your test step. This is the sample. I would say this is the here I have very basic test cases. I'm not saying like it is following by every company. Maybe some test cases it could be 20 columns. You based on your company needs. So, but here it is the standard minimum columns we need to follow. So which one is test case ID, test case name, description, precondition, execution steps, expected result, actual result, status, and comments. So this is the minimum things we already know. Last class I already told you like how to assign test case ID. So if we write down anything test cases by Excel sheet, if they are not following any tools like Jira, or sorry, not Jira, it is like a Rally or HPALM or HPQC, then you don't need to worry about that test case ID, because the system will generate automatically. But if you are writing the test cases ID, definitely you need to follow them. I will recommend it to you, go through my previous class, and then you will understand. And then name has some convention, how to write the test cases. And then here I would say this is the test case ID, the field. So I am saying just go through my previous one and you will understand that. I'm not repeating those. And then the test case name as well, I already mentioned it, how to start with, and then how can you writing there. And then the description is like, it is sometimes some company recommended to put the more description, because sometimes when you only put the name could not be very lengthy. Sometimes more elaboration you need, what you are testing, what functionality you are test. So that time you can more elaborate in the description. So name should be like specific when we reading the name, and then we understand what we are testing, what functionality we are testing. That way we need to put the name as such a way. But description, it is optional. It could be a more elaborate if you need it. It is not mandatory every time. So even though you have a column, maybe every test case you don't need to enter the details or description, but name must be, you should have. And then I would say like definitely go through the scenarios and then try to write down. send to me, and then we'll go through. And also a precondition, you already knows what is the precondition. If you don't know precondition, it is depends on the test what we are testing. Suppose like Gmail account, um, we are testing, suppose send an email functionalities. So we have send button. So suppose when we go through the send button, previously we need to first log in our email account and then go to the compose, and then from that compose we have already, right, you already knows here, when we go to when we enter and then we click compose button, and then it's pop up here. And that pop-up window, it has the field to and subject and body, and then attachment is optional. You are not attaching functionality you are using. Suppose send button, so when you click send, suppose you are putting send without entering, so it has some error message, right? So error is please is at least one recipient means here on the true field we need to enter it. Suppose if I put it abc or asdf at .com or at com, and then if we enter invalid, even though invalid, you see here the red is there because it is not a valid email address. So everything is checking that functionality is working or not. So based on how you find out, you are don't assuming every user will enter the correct username correct email address. So you need to combination of all types of valid and invalid data. How it is, it could be empty, it could be invalid, it could be a big or no domains, or suppose like I have is I have the email address, and then what is my email address? Yeah, I put it, but I forgot to add the rate. I put it gmail.com, but it is also invalid because there is no domain, so they are validating. So all we need to find out, because lot of times data is important, because without proper data you could not find out the bug. Even though end-to-end is working, your valid is working, but don't think every end user will put the correct email address. They maybe it could be a typo, maybe it could be some mistake. So anything could be happen. That way you can write on. Even though my my test data is fine, at the rate I put it Gmail, I forgot to put enter the dot. I put it without dot, and then when I click, it is throwing the error. If it is not throwing the error, that's mean it has some issue. So you can take the screenshot, or it is already taken, it is not give through the error message, because it the expected result is it should through the error. If it is not, then definitely it has some issue. So think about like only on one field, on only the two field, how many combination, how many mistake it could be happen by the end user. You need to think about end user perspective, because a lot of times typo could be happen, or unintentionally error could be happen by end user. So it should be catchable, or it should be noticeable what they are making a mistake by intentionally. So that is our ultimate goal, to find out that proper field is working as expected. So and then when we write down the test cases, always you need to follow like these templates, like we already have this, right? We need to follow this, and then don't enter. Or I saw some test cases previously. I remember there was a new guy, he just joined the company, and then he write down the test cases, and then he put it expected result, and then he entered the same thing as a actual result, and then pass and fail without executing. So think about like, don't, it will be only when you put actual result, when you execute. Without execute, you cannot enter actual result. So when you write down the test cases, this test case id, test case name, precondition or execution steps, expected result should be there. Status and actual result should not be enter, because you are not executing that time. When application is available, when developer they deploy from development environment to set environment or seat environment or QA environment, this is our all environment. Like QA environment, sometimes they say Sometimes they say like QA environment or SAT environment or SIT environment. So what does mean? SIT is system integration test, system acceptance test, or QA quality assurance. So lot of company they say QA environment as a SIT environment. Lot of company they say QA as a SAT environment, or QA as a QA environment. Sometimes they might have multiple environments, suppose like QA1, QA3, QA4, because different server, different for the different release they wanted to keep it. Suppose in our company we have every 4 release, so all we have set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, different URL. So if we have anything problem, we need to check it previously work fine. So when we retest, we find out existing functionality is broken, and then immediately my manager will say, oh, can you test it or retest it the previous release, it was the same, or it was worked, or it was the known issue. So if it is work on the previous release and then the next release or current release it got issue because it is not working, because the existing or current new integration functionality broken the existing one. So that time they wanted to keep it previous release as well. So it is important. So why I'm putting this, you need to be get clear picture, like when they're talking about like, oh, okay, we are responsible, we are tester, we should work in this 3 environment, even though is company to company verify what they are entering the name. So you already know, so when you work on the test cases, and then precondition is also optional fields. Sometimes it is handy, sometimes it is not, they don't carry worry about. So let's get started. Like again, go back to the send button, right? We wanted to put it, okay, I wanted to check send functionality, but it is if we put it without 2 fields or without entering a wrong one, then what is behave? But what is the precondition it should be for these test cases? The precondition is customer should log in successfully, because the login successful we have steps: enter username, enter email password, and then click login button, then home page will come. So expected result is home page should display it. But that is one test case we have it on the happy path, login successful. So for the send button we might enter first step, okay, enter a gmail.com, enter username, enter password, enter click login, and then click compose, click two field, and then click subject field, click body field, then click send button. That's mean lot of like steps it is repeating. So when you are writing lot of steps, then you are going to another one is for attachment functionality is working or not, the same steps you need to log in and then you need to come. So over and over login portion is coming again and again. It make you annoying, or who are writing who are reading the test cases, they will feel annoyed. Oh, why unnecessary steps is again, we already know, so without login we cannot go to the compose. So that's why we need to write down the test case such a way, okay, precondition we can enter here, okay, user able to log in successfully, and then after that first step is click compose. Then from pop-up menu you can mention it from the new message window, pop-up window, new message pop-up window, we can enter valid email address. So if it is negative scenario, you can say we can enter invalid email address on the 2 field, the error message you are capturing or whatever. So that is the I'll share with you this one, just go through, and then you can find, you can getting familiar with. And then another one is last time I told you the status. So status is how what is the status it could be. Suppose like your test case is pass, after execution you put the passed. If it is failed, then you put as a failed status, and in the meantime you have a extra work. When it is failed, you need to put the document another Excel sheet which one is defined for defect or bug or issue. We can say different way, different companies. Sometimes they said, oh, can you put a issue list? Can you put a bug list? Can you put a defect list? They will say all are similar word. In Bengali, you already know the lao and kodu. All are same, right? But that's the way we need to write down. And then some stages could be not tested. That's mean you are, suppose they assign to you 2 days 7 test cases, and then they wanted to end of the day, they wanted to get the status report, like what is the execution report you have. They maybe 10 test cases you have, and then your lead or your manager, they wanted to know from end of the day before you leave the office to how you execute and what is the test result. So either way to pass or fail. Suppose you could not able to test one test cases, you could not even determine what is pass or fail. So definitely you need to put the status. So that time you can put, oh, you did not test it, so no test. Or sometimes not applicable. So what is the not applicable? So this test cases not applied to feature anymore since requirements change or modify. Suppose like there was some requirement was there that got changed, or that is not anymore is there. So that time they change it. Maybe suppose like they have a some packages recurring every month, recurring every week, or recurring every year. Suppose like they said, okay, we have a weekly recurring, we have a monthly or weekly. Suppose just we want to take it out weekly one. We don't want to recurring weekly functionality. We want to take it out because we want to keep only monthly recurring payment, or and yearly recurring payment. So that time definitely when they implement weekly payment option or recurring option, and then they want to take it out, so that test case you cannot remove, you need to document it. Maybe on the future they might again they wanted to enable that one, that feature. So definitely when you write down the test cases, you are not removing or you are not updating. So that time you can put it not applicable or NA. That's mean business people knows, and then your manager should knows, everybody knows that functionality got changed. So when you put not applicable, they will know, okay, that one is not that one is not fail, or that one is not pass, because it is not functionality is not anymore available in the page. And sometimes something not tested or cannot be tested, so it make a cause precondition is not met. Suppose like cannot be tested, you saying like it is not tested means you are not able to test. That means functionality there may be time consuming. Yeah, when you write down or when you execute, maybe some lengthy test cases you execute, and then you did not get enough time, maybe something came in the middle, and then you working on and then you could not able to do it. So don't get confused with the not tested and cannot be tested. This is defined status. So because the precondition is, suppose like if you go through the send send, suppose like send email, right? Here maybe it is in the production, but think about when you have a development process, and then you just click compose, and then that is new message pop-up window is not populate, or maybe you are not able to log in on your page, maybe your database server is down, they could not able to check it on the behind, even though your data is correct. Suppose username is correct, password is correct, and then when you enter, your login button is not responsive. That means your data is fine, maybe in the on UI there is some defect, the button is not enabled, or that sorry, like button is not functional properly. So it could be happens on the front end. And then how you test on the send button link, because you are not able to go to your home page and go to compose, because you are not able to go through the second page. That's mean it may cause precondition not met. So precondition means you need to, before sending the email, you need to log in on the email address, and you should be on home page, and then compose should be available, and then you can go through. So precondition is not meeting. So precondition means it could be any type. Suppose like you are going through for checkout for any types of retail application, you are going to checkout application functionality you need to verify. But in the meantime, before checkout, you need to put something on your cart. If you have no item on your cart, then what is the checkout using for? Definitely empty cart should not be allowed to check out because you don't have any item. Suppose in the meantime, when you put anything on your add to cart, and then that add to cart functionality is not enabled. Suppose you are clicking, keep clicking, but that is not responsive. That means you are not able to test that checkout functionality because it is blocking you to test that one, because precondition you need to take it at least one item should be in the cart, in your cart. So that time you can put as a tested. Or suppose some another one is important is blocked. Sometimes you might face it. That means test case could not be tested because any type of environment down, like database server down, application access issue, or network down. So maybe your network is down and then you could not able to access anything. A 404 error or 500 error. 500 error means you are not able to, they will say internal server error. 500 we know. We will go through the number of HTTP error messages another class, then you will feel more comfortable. Maybe right now the number you are not familiar, but suppose think about like that, don't go through the number. I would say server is down, or maybe database server is down, or maybe suppose you are functioning something as a admin user accessibilities. Suppose all functionalities you don't have. So such a way, suppose like you have a regular account for testing, but you don't have any admin account. So admin feature is different. So maybe suppose like in the bank, when you're taking out the money from the teller, they allow to give you the permission up to 2,000. Suppose you wanted to get money from your bank from the teller like 5,000. So 5,000 he or she cannot give you without his manager approval. So then pop-up should come, they will accept or they will give you the allow to put it somewhere, right? The functionality should be there. So that account, maybe when you test that account, admin account, you have it. Suppose you don't have that account, maybe your developer or from the system you did not get it. So that time that functionality you could not test it because of you don't have proper access data, application access data, you don't have it. So that time it might be a block. And then when you put as a blocked status, you put a comment, oh, I don't have admin username and password. So that's why you could not do that. So when you have available, you retest, right? So everything you have the status, you clear already, right? That is the different status we might have when we go to or write down the test cases. And then comments is like whatever you are facing. Or suppose like there is some, you write down the 5 steps, maybe on the 3rd steps if you feel it is not working, and then that time you can mention it, what the blockage you have, or which steps it got failed on actual, what is the issue. Suppose like you are saying you are testing login functionality, or maybe sending email functionality, a lot of functionality you have. So you put it, user not able to send the email, but which step it got failed? It could be fail on 2 account on email address, or it could be a send button itself is not responsive, or maybe compose button is not working. So which steps you don't know, so you need to mention it on your comments. Oh, that that level, that steps got failed. And then when developer will review your comments and your steps, they will automatically knows, oh, what they need to get the action to resolve that issue. That's why we need to write down. Otherwise, if you are not putting anything, pass or fail, they might ask you which steps it got failed, which functionality is not working. They will not know if we are not properly documented. So that is our recommendation. Comments also in handy for everyone. The given reason to inform the information about the what is the going on that test cases is passed or failed or blocked or not testable, whatever we have. So this is the perspective of conclusion. Anyhow, so 2 days, like I will go through another one, like how every week I will give you some example and give you some assignment to write down the test cases. But before that, I will give you some real-time example how you can write down test cases properly. So let's get another example. Suppose we all knows ATM machine. If I told you, can you write down the test cases for ATM machine, and then you will feel like maybe some people can write down 3 test cases, some people can write down 5 test cases, some people can write down 10 test cases. So based on that, like how you can write down the test cases based on that functionality. But when you properly knows how ATM machine is working as of today, and then you are wanted to check it all functionality, you don't want to miss anything before going to production, then you need to proper test. That means proper documentation, proper test cases, as much as you can write down the test cases, and then there's such a way you can find out all expected functionalities working properly. So let's get inside deep in how we can write down the test cases. So I just go through some example for ATM machines. So first test cases, it could be you can start with verify or check. It is better if you don't write check or verify. It is also right, but standard wise, I am recommended to you always start with verify or check or checking. If you don't write, it is optional also, but good to have it. And then ATM machine, suppose first one, you write down verify machine is accepting ATM card. ATM card means if you are putting on ATM card on your credit card, on your MTA, on New York, everybody knows there is the MTA card. MTA card is what it is not actual credit card or debit card. So if you put ATM card and then if you swipe, definitely it will not doing anything, because it is card though, but definitely it will not give you any pop-up login message or enter your PIN number, or they will not go through further because it is not a valid card, right? That should be taken in, right? It could be anything. So definitely they scan something. So on your perspective, or as an end user, if you make any mistake, proper data should be displayed. So second one is machine is rejecting expired card. Suppose like your card is okay, card is fine, but it got expired yesterday. When you put today, and then definitely it will give you the error message. So that is the functionality. Individual, you are not putting everything of how you write down. Individual, each and everything you need to document it, because when you test, you need to get the expired card and you need to test. Otherwise you cannot find out. You are documented but you are not testing properly. They will give you the machine and then they'll give you proper valid card, invalid card for test that one. Otherwise maybe on your ATM machine they are allowing Visa and Master or Amex, maybe Discover they don't allow. So you can put Discover card as well, and then you will check it is how it is working that way. And then what is the third one is verify successful entry of PIN number. Maybe you can put successfully, that means your valid PIN number. And then another one you can put unsuccessful. So when you put unsuccessful means you wrong PIN number, then maximum 3 times you can put. Otherwise when you put it and then you need to swipe again, or you need to take it out the card and then you need to check it again, or maybe that card will be blocked when you put it, and then it will not come again because it will lock it, because you entered it more than 3 times. So it is the functionality we have. Otherwise somebody take your somebody take your card and then they will try infinitely, right? And then they will get it the PIN number. So and then test cases, 5 number test cases is verify successfully selection of the language. So it might have how many language you have. Okay, just 1 second, guys. 1 minute. I have a one call. So sorry, guys. Let's get started again. Verify successful selection of language. So maybe it might have multiple language selection option is available. So you might check it each and every one. That functionality should be used multiple. If you have a 5 language available, so every time that test case you need to take it with 5 types of language. You need to mention on the test data on the test cases. Don't write down the same test cases for okay. Select the selection for English language. Select the language for Spanish language. So because that same test case, the data is different. So don't go by test data. Don't write down the more test cases like that way when you have selection. So another one is verify successful selection of account type, whatever the checking account or savings account, or you have both. So they wanted to know, they will give you the options. So that functionality you need to check. So you see here individual each and every functionality you are writing the test cases to check, because your test case should be specific one function. Don't write down the test cases for multiple functions, because when one function is failed, then you cannot determine which actual function got failed. So test case name should be specified specific one functionality. Always remember, and then you need to write down proper test cases, and then we need to follow and we need to review. Then it will give you the confidence. I'm saying again and again this. And then another one, what is the happens is like unsuccessful operation due to invalid account type. Verify successful selection amount to be withdraw. That is happy path, right? You are withdraw some money from your bank account. A successful withdraw. That means you have some money, you have 500, and then you are able to take it out within a 500. But another one you need to check, verify expected message due to amount is greater than by day limit. Somewhere is 300, somewhere is 500, somewhere is 1000, right? We already know different company, different value. So based on that we need to check. We cannot assume, oh, every ATM machine should work 5000. It is not. It is internal policy. Your company policy, company will give you the information or requirement. Oh, our daily limit is 500. So based on that you need to get that data, and then how many times you can get it. And another one is okay, unsuccessful withdraw operation due to lack of money in the ATM. Suppose you have 500, you wanted to enter 100, but by mistake you put another zero. So what happens is it is like 1000 now. So if it is 1000, if it is coming, and then definitely you will be winner, you will be happy. Oh my god, yeah! But as a tester, it is your fault. It is, if it is going to production, definitely you will lose money. So in the test should be take it like that way functionality. You need to enter proper data. So whatever the amount you have, and then the greater than deposit money, whatever you have, you need to enter for the withdraw, and then check it, the proper data or proper message is displaying or not. And then verify expected message due to amount withdraw is greater than possible what balance. So verify unsuccessful withdraw operation due to click cancel after insert card. Suppose like you select everything and you select money, and then in the final stage, instead of okay, you enter cancel. That means cancel should be perform, and then you should not get your money, and then card should be get out, right? And then you need to check, even though if you sometimes if you check it, or you enter cancel, and then your card also got stuck, it is not releasing. That is the defect too. So that way you need to check it how it is working or not. Verify unsuccessful operation due to insert card in wrong angle. Suppose like your magnetic chip or magnetic bar should be on the top. if you put reverse order or flip flop, and then when you try to enter or swipe it, and then it should give you the message, oh, wrong card, wrong reading error. There's some message should be displayed. User will get know, oh, what he did. So otherwise he might be like, oh, this machine is not working, machine problem. So we need to ultimate goal is all possible functionality we need to check. So think about, do you think like ATM machine should be 14 test cases? It might be when you write down, it might be more, you can write down 20 test cases, it is fine. If they allow, it could be valid. It may be another scenarios you are bringing here. You're checking. I'm not saying ATM machine should be this 14. So based on my acknowledge, this is the 14 tests I have been written, but you might written more than that. Ultimate goal is find out the machine is working as expected based on our requirement. Always we need to follow, because developer follow that requirement, they develop, and we follow the same document to follow our test cases and execute that. Based on that, we can put it pass or fail. So definitely the next class or next day when I give you, maybe on Thursday, this side will go continue, and then I will try to get some real-time business requirement document, how it is look like, and then how you need to read, and then I will share with you, and then we will walk through together, and then you will find more helpful, because now we are a little bit blind position, like, oh, what is the business requirement look like? You never saw it, but we have it. It is not even the permission, but I will print out some without company's name here and there, and then I will give you as I can to couple of pages how it look like functionality. And then based on that, it is not standard, but I'm saying it's company standard, so it depends on company to company. Sometimes it is more technical, you cannot understand anything. Anyhow, so that is our write down the test cases like that way. So we will give you this file, and then that one give you the picture how you can write down specific test cases. So come to the point, like any web application, when you go through and then try to write down the test cases, and then share with me, and then we'll review, and then we will feedback to you based on your effort. Okay, so I will expecting every guys you are attempting to write down this, and then get the familiar. And another one I wanted to share with you, suppose like when you write down any defect, or your test cases got failed, this is the, suppose in my company they are following this template. This is from my company. I mean, I written down for you guys because I cannot copy paste from my company or send to the document from my company to my personal account. Always remember, this is the red line. You cannot even use your Gmail account, you cannot use your flash drive on your company's laptop. And for companies, any document you cannot release. This is, it is very strictly prohibited, and then for that reason you could I saw it, a lot of people got fired even when they caught, because everything is restricted. So but this one, what I do, I just print it out for you guys, give you some picture how it's look like, and then I written everything by myself. So suppose like you have some failed test cases, and then how you can assign. So this is your template, it should be like this is my company's standard. Maybe you have another columns, you have more, or you might have another more columns or less columns. It depends on your companies. But this is my company's standard. Suppose like defect IDs, this is starting with DEF and then some number, and they started with, and then open date, when you open, which date it was, and then the close date is when you retest, when it is passed, and then it is fixed, then you put the close date. Close date means it should be it should be your like pass date. Okay, that one is your close date, means your that one is passed, and that functionality or defect is retested, and then it is working as expected after creating after opening. So sometimes some test cases you see here, some test cases immediately got closed within 2 days. Some test cases might need next day. Some test cases got 2 weeks to like developer got busy. They could not, they did not get that a proper solution immediately, or maybe some higher priority they are working on. Maybe your test case is low priority, they could not able to deploy it, and then you did not able to retest because you are waiting for retest. You are waiting for their like solution or resolve. So, and then here a description means you can write down what is the main reason. The test case, you can even put the test case ID here. Suppose when we document, we have a test case ID, and then you can put it, and then we have a screenshot tab is here. Then you might take the screenshot, and then picture always give you the specific. Suppose sometimes a lot of description you want to write to mention it, but the screenshot give you the proper picture where actually is failed. So that time you need to take the screenshot. We'll go through how to write on the test case. Take the screenshot as well. We'll tell you. But this is the this just want to go through how you can put the defect when you have defect. So suppose environment, it is I'm working on randomly Windows 10 and Windows 7 because our application is migrating from Windows 7 to Windows 10 functionality. So both need to be done. And then that time we need to mention which environment I test. So yeah, maybe on your case it could be an issue like environment which browser, I browser, Chrome or Firefox, or it could be every browser, or maybe I is working, maybe Chrome is not working, or maybe Chrome is working, I is not working. That time you can mention it on your environment, that browser you check it. Maybe you test case pass on your I browser, and then same steps you follow on Chrome browser, and you got a defect or you got a problem, and then you need to mention it on your comments and the environment, that is the environment you had, and then it is failed. It is environment issue or compatibility issue. Okay. And then app owner means which application. When you work, it could be multiple applications, so they wanted to add it here. I know you are not understanding what does mean VGI or what does mean DST, but I wanted to know like VGI or DST, it is the application name. Maybe when you work at your company, it might be app 1 or app 2, app 3, whatever. It could be different name. So based on that, you just need to mention it, which app got failed. Then that way it's going to be more specific, because when you put that defect, it will assign to whom? Assign to the developer. Developer need to work on it, right? So that is the important for him. And then verification, verified in view station, it is our company needs view station our desktop application. So they wanted to migrate on web application. So that needs to be which one is tested or not. View station that's mean legacy application. So don't worry about that, it is optional. Don't think about it. If they need your previous application or previous version or previous types of application, then you need to mention it. And then reported by you. So how many testers? Suppose like we have 4, and then we have all 4 need to be assigned here. Suppose like Russell here, Rahat here, Tashin here, Hayat here, and then we are all a tester. And then who write down what? So which defect? Definitely sometimes developer interact with you when you define, okay, can you retest? And then, or if he don't understand anything, any step where actually it failed, and maybe he might contact to you or email to you. Can you reproduce right now? Or maybe he solved it something. So that's why they wanted to put it who is the user to put the defect on the list. So this is the name. And then what is assigned to? Assigned to should be a suppose in our company we have a Shangam is the developer, and Jahid is the developer, Bo is the developer, and then they're doing, we wanted to report it. Who will report it? You are not putting this. Maybe when you write down the test cases, you don't need to assign, because assign will come with your manager. Maybe that assign, suppose your manager assigned to developer manager, and developer manager assigned to particular developer. Oh, suppose they have 4 developer, and then who work with who, or which defect they will assign. If they cannot put every defect for one guy, right? So that one, it is not to you, but why they are put? For the management. Maybe that column is available, but you don't need to put it when you assign the defect, because that one is later when you defect open, and then your manager will enter it. Okay, and then what is the status? Definitely when you have a new defect, it will open status. When it has a fixed, and then when you passed verify, you will close it. You updated the status. And then what is the state? State means what is the condition of that defect right now. So it is open, it is a new defect, or it is a retest failed. Suppose they said, okay, waiting for retest, you got the status, waiting for retest, and after retest you saw the same problem or maybe another problem. So then you can say, okay, that is retest failed. So that is the, and then suppose like there is sometimes working, sometimes it's not. Okay, now maybe environment issue. So and then you can put this investigation. So suppose like your developer said it is working on his machine, but when you put on your machine and then you retest it, and then you say you feel it is not working or something like that. So and then suppose like your environment is down, you cannot reproduce, that time you can put as a blocked. We already talk about the status. That way you can put. And then another important field is always is severity. Severity is like minimum 3 severity: high, medium, low. It could be more like medium, high, or cosmetics, they can put it, or hard stop. A lot of status severity they have. Severity means how the functionality is affecting on your business. Suppose send functionality is failed or add to cart is failed, that means it is high priority, you need to fix. Suppose your subject you are writing something, but your subject is not entering more than 50 characters. It is not taking more than 50 characters. That means it is taking the subject, but it is had some limitation. Suppose they have 100 character, but unfortunately after 50 character or after 20 characters it is not taking, or it is got cut off when the sender or when the receiver got the email, and it is got cut off. It could be. So that time you can put low. And then what is the medium? Suppose like based on that your functionality, suppose your any functionalities is not working. Suppose your attachment is not working, only it is working for only PDF file, or it is working only documents file, not other file is going through, or maybe they have some restriction more than 5 megabyte you cannot attach. Like you need to check it also, that attachment, right? You can check it with big file, it is checking or not. So that time it is based on if you are not like first time you put the guessing on it, but sometimes if you are confused you might consult with your senior. So okay, I thought this defect, what do you think? It should be high or it should be medium? Or you can put medium, and higher management they said no, this should not be medium because it is our business issue, and when the review scrum meeting will come, or daily scrum meeting will go through, or defect review should go through, and then they will change it. It is not your fault. You're putting medium, but it is not final. They might change it. They said, oh, okay, not medium, it is like we need to put it as a high priority. Management said so, it will be go. Suppose like you are putting medium, but they said no, it's not a medium issue, put it as a low as of now. So they will change it. So it is like a conversation wise based on the functionality what you are. And then comments, you already knows comments is important, where it is got failed. And then why I'm putting this because of our project Jira ticket issue is there. So lot of people we don't know how to interact with Jira. So next class I will go through some screenshot how to log in Jira, and then where the issue need to submit, and then what is the number it will be assigned, and then you have some visual knowledge or be a visual picture like okay, Jira will look like that, because Jira is like a corporate level software. We cannot create by ourselves and then we can test it because we don't have it, but at least you have hands-on screenshot with like live project from my project, and then we can share with you guys, and then we'll then that time I will check it again with you, and then how it is check it, because this is the number when they why they are putting this, because this task need to be forward to the developer, because developer working on it, developer has some work, and then how much effort. When it is high, maybe for fixing he needs to 2 days or 3 days, and then he put the hour on it for the tracking purpose. When it is done, and then somebody need to be informed like by tester or management, or that got resolved. That's why they are putting as a Jira tools. Jira tools is a separate topics. We'll go through again. My ultimate goal is one by one every week we'll go through, and then we'll get familiar, or beside automation Selenium for manual processing for everybody. So that's all. Now is 2:20. We're almost done of today, because the ultimate goal is 1 hour, 1 hour and 10 minutes. People are coming from different places. We know we are late. We wanted to finish by 2, and then Thursday we have, definitely if we can complete Thursday we have time, we will go through again and the lab class. When we have the lab class, we have a lot of individual work we have. So right now as of now, if you have a question, just reply me what question you have, or my personal thing is try to start with write down the test cases, and then we'll walk through from there. Okay guys, so what is here? I almost done. So take care everybody, have a good weekend. So tomorrow is Monday, everybody hate Monday who is working properly office environment. Definitely good luck, and then see you next week, and keep continue to study. Okay, see you later. Bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Leave the meeting.